there, mamas. Today we are talking about 5 easy steps to planning your Disney vacation. And it will help you avoid that vacation planning overwhelm if you follow these 5 easy steps. My name is Christina. I'm the owner and founder of Showcase the World Travel, a modern travel agency dedicated to helping overwhelmed moms like you take a break from the busy and enjoy a vacation that they need, that you really need, without worrying about everyone and everything for a change.
Showcase Suggestions, where I share travel tips and lists of 5 to help make traveling with kids a little easier.
So like I said, I want you to completely abolish vacation planning overwhelm. I know how it is. You sit down to plan your vacation and you are completely inundated with information and reviews and you just don't know where to start, and it's completely overwhelming, and you think you'll sit down and do it later and you just don't end up booking your vacation. I don't want that to happen to you, so I created that video, how to beat vacation planning overwhelm. I will link to it here. Definitely check that one out because it has some great advice in it. But in that video I talked about follow step by step. So make sure you are planning step by step. Don't sit down to pick a accommodation and then end up looking at restaurants for 3 hours. Not that I've done that. My food is always my priority when I travel, but and I've definitely been guilty of that. If you want to avoid vacation planning overwhelm, that is the thing not to do though. So if you're planning your Disney trip, you want to make sure you handle it in 5 steps, and only move on to the next one when you finish the first one, and it will help you keep everything organized and help you going step by step and never have you wondering what to do next. So the first thing you want to do is decide when to go. So this might be really easy. You might only have certain times when you can go, and you just get to pick from when you have vacation. Or you might have a completely flexible schedule, and then you want to pick when to go based on crowds. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with crowds with the 50th anniversary next year, and so many canceled reservations for 2020 that are going to be moving to 2021. So the crowd calendars aren't going to be super reliable for a while, but we can definitely help you figure out based on availability when is going to be a less crowded time to go. And then once you've decided when to go, you kind of want to have an idea of what to do. You don't want to get deep down and plan your itinerary, but you want to have an idea of what you're going to do. Do you want to go to Universal for a few days and get off of Disney property? Are you going to spend most of your time in the Magic Kingdom? Knowing what your priorities are is what's going to help you on the next step, which is deciding where to stay. You want to have an idea of what parks you're going to be visiting before you decide where to stay, so that you can then decide where to stay based on where you'll be going. So as an example, when we go in October for food and wine, we know we'll be spending a ton of time at Epcot. We like to stay in one of the Epcot area resorts. If we're going and spending a lot of time at the resort and we're not going to be spending a lot of time in the parks, we go to the Wilderness Lodge, the Poly, or the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So definitely deciding what the priority is for you is going to help you decide where to stay, which is step 3. So step 3, you're going to decide where to stay. You don't want to ask your Facebook group where to stay. You definitely don't want to do that. Because they're all going to have different ideas for you based on where they stayed. You want to make sure you're picking a resort that fits your budget, your itinerary, and your travel priorities, really. So I'm going to put a link to a guide here down below that will help you with these 5 steps, and they're going to be a little more detailed in helping you within each of those 5 steps. So definitely give that a download, the link below. The next thing is deciding where to eat. With Disney, you decide that first because you book them 180 days in advance. For 2020, it's 60 days in advance. It might change again for 2021. We're not sure, but traditionally you book them 180 days in advance. So you want to decide where to eat based on what parks you're going to be in, so you kind of figure that out and what you were going to do, right? So you figured out what you're going to do, where you're going to stay. Now you're going to figure out where you're going to eat. You can do something that's near your resort or in the park that you're in that day. And it's just a little bit easier to figure out where you're going to eat once you figure it out what you're going to do and where you're going to stay. So you don't have this whole huge list of things to choose from. You have a narrow list. And then you make a plan. That's when you start thinking about your fast passes. You start thinking about your priorities for the day. I like to pick 2 or 3 things in the morning and then 2 or 3 things in the afternoon beyond my fast passes. And if I do anything beyond that handful of things, it's a bonus. So don't overplan your day. Just plan 1 or 2 things in chunks, and then everything else is a bonus, so you're not disappointed. I hope that helps. Your 5 steps are deciding when to go, deciding what to do, where to stay, where to eat, and making a plan. Again, I have a great resource, great free resource that I'm going to link to below that has these steps in it, as well as a bigger explanation of them for you. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and remember to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.